give that up for anything. And if I'm not wrong, there's a hadith which says, وَلَوْ دُعِيتُ لِمِثْلِهِ فِي الْإِسْلَامِ لَأَجَبْتُ. Sah? He said, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, if that happens now again, now that you are Muslims, meaning what? Meaning the kuffar come about. Listen to this, Yakhwani, because some of us have this wrong understanding of Islam. He says, if I was called today in Islam, meaning the kuffar called me today, that we make a treaty to stand up for the rights of the oppressed, I would go. I would agree. I would sign. I would stand up for that. Now, some of us have this crazy ideology, Khwani, that Islamically we cannot participate in anything with those who are not Muslims. That is not Islam. And this is one of the many proofs to show you that. But what is the way of knowing what you can and what you cannot? Anything which is common for all of us human beings, anything which is common for us human beings, it is 100% allowed. In fact, it is 100% emphasized for us Muslims to be part of that. So if today there's a group of Catholic priests and Protestant bishops or whatever they are, and a group of Jewish rabbis, and a group of hardcore atheists coming about, and let's say some Buddhist monks, and saying we're going to form a coalition of Torontonians, people living in Toronto, against drug abuse, youth abusing drugs. Some of you will say, no, we are Muslims, we don't participate with you. It's not the deen, akhi. It's not. The deen says, yes, you should be part of that. Drug abuse, is it halal, haram? Islam says we should take a stance against it or not? Okay. It doesn't matter who takes a stance with you. You are doing something right. If someone else is helping you to do that, Muslim or not, you should be part of that. You understand? But if tomorrow they stood up and they said, we are forming a coalition, all those guys I mentioned, Catholic priest, Protestant bishop, hardcore atheist, and Buddhist monk, and they said, we are forming a coalition to increase minimum age of drinking alcohol. So now you have to be 20 to drink alcohol. Can we, as Muslims, participate or not in that? Why not, ikhwan? Instead of 18, at least they're 20 now. They drink when 20. Huh? Ahsan. Because alcohol is haram whether you're 18 or 20 years old. You understand? So if they come around and they say, we have this mu'tamar, we have this convention, wahdatul adyan, unity of religions. We're making a convention that we are all one religion. In essence, we are all one religion. Do you participate in that or not? Allah, why not? How many gods are there? One. Tayyib. Then if you say we're all one religion, is that wrong? Huh? One by one, ikhwan. If we say we are all on one religion, is that wrong or right? Who says wrong? If you say wrong, put your hand up. Who says right? How are we in one, all of us in one religion, when they are not following the Quran and the Sunnah? When Allah says, Inna ad-deena indallahi Islam. The only religion with Allah is Islam. And Islam is only based on the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. You understand? So, afwan. So we are not all one religion. Maybe their religions came originally from Islam, but they're no longer Islam now, because Musa alayhi salam came with Islam, and then they changed it into Judaism. Isa alayhi salam came with Islam, and then they changed it into Christianity, what you call today. You understand? So when you call to a convention like that, then we as Muslims, we don't do that, because if you do that, that is pure kufr. And that is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, La, not hiwar al-adyan. I said wahdatul adyan. Calling to say all these religions are same. That is kufr. But if they say it is hiwarul adyan, dialogue between religions, interreligious dialogue, can we go to that or not? The answer is yes, we can. We go there. And we say proudly, Alhamdulillah, we are Muslims and we are upon the truth. If you wish, we can talk about something. Yes, why not? You understand? Lakum dinukum waliyadin. You have your religion, okay, I have mine, and mine is the truth. That is how it is. So, Ikhwani, my point is this idea that Muslims cannot cooperate with non-Muslims in anything, take out this idea. And this idea is brought about by those who are affected by the fikr of the Khawarij. You know, you're either Muslim or you're Kafir, that's it. No. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Law du'itu," if I was called to it now, I'll do it now. Why? Because you're standing up for the oppressed people. You're standing up for the oppressed people. You understand? And because justice, adl, is one of the main goals of Islam. This religion, it came to emphasize and to bring about justice. And the first justice which is supposed to be established is what? The right of Allah, that He alone deserves to be worshipped. La ilaha illallah. That is perfect and pure justice, adl. That is why shirk is the opposite of justice, which is what? Dhulm. Injustice, oppression. Why? Because you're taking the right of Allah and giving it to someone else, whoever it is. And if you look, like I said again, this religion is all about justice, even the small things, justice. The hadith of Al-Bashir, the father of Nu'man ibn Bashir. You heard of the Sahabi called Nu'man ibn Bashir, radiallahu anhuma. His father was also a Sahabi, Al-Bashir. This is Sahih Muslim. Al-Bashir one day he sat with his wife and he says, Ishhadi, you should be a witness, my wife, that my piece of land, I give it to my son Bashir. And the woman, being a wise woman, Allahu Akbar, a woman who knows her deen, what she say? She says, Lam ashhad, I will not be a witness, hatta, until what? You go to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She felt, because he had other children, she felt, this is not right. Why are you giving it to Bashir only? She says, I won't be a witness unless you go confirm with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Close the door. So he goes to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and he says, Ya Rasulullah, Messenger of Allah, bear witness that the piece of land I have is now for my son Bashir. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said what? Akullu waladaka, all your other children, you gave them the same thing? Listen, you parents, me and you. All your other children, you gave them the same thing? قال قلت لا. He says, I said no. فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. So the Prophet said, اشهد غيري فإني لا أشهد على الجور. Go find another witness, because I cannot be a witness in oppression. That's not justice. You as a father, as a mother, you're not allowed to give something specifically to one child alone. Unless it's special need, he or she alone needs that, yes, special need. But something, just a gift out of nowhere, no. Perfect justice. You know, some of those brothers, they were dissing me the other day. saying, you know, the Shaikh, since he got married, he don't talk about second, third wife anymore. I don't know where they got that news. It's clear that they don't sit in the halakah. They don't sit in the halakah. But I just talked about the benefit of that. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made a condition for that, and that's the only condition of getting married again. One condition only, which is what? You have to ask your wife's permission. No, you don't. I know the women might get mad or something, but if you consult with the wife, there's nothing wrong, but I don't advise that. I don't. Come ask me how you do it if you're really ready to do it. But the condition Allah mentions it clearly in the Quran. Al-adl. You have to be just. Justice. Justice between the two houses, the two wives. If you cannot do that, you do not get married. Even if she lives in $1 million home. But if you're not just, it's not allowed. It's not about how much you can spend. It's about how do you treat them. Justice. Wives, justice, children. Justice, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he showed it very clear in his life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he says to summarize, Ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu, O you who believe, kunu qawwamina bilqist shuhada'a lillahi. Be people who stand up for justice, bearing witness for Allah. Allah directs us, ikhwan, in Surah Al-Nisa and Surah Al-Ma'idah. Be people who stand up for justice. Why? Being witnesses for Allah. Allah, He says in Nisa, وَلَوْ عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِكُمْ. Even if it's against your own self. Allahu Akbar. أَوِ الْوَالِدَيْنِ, or your own parents. أَوِ الْأَقْرَبِينَ, or your relatives. You have to be just. Justice is Islam. Islam is justice. Even against yourself, yes. Even against your own parents, yes. This is what the truth is. This is the truth. Allah says in Al-Ma'idah or in Nisa, وَلَا يَجْرِمَنَّكُمْ شَنَآنُ قَوْمٍ. Even if people are evil, you have to be just with them. Allahu Akbar. Even if they are evil, mujrimun, criminals, you, the way you deal with them, you have to be just with them. That's the beauty and the perfection of Islam, ikhwan. No other religion will tell you that. No other philosophy will tell you that. Even if he's a criminal, you deal with him justly, yes. Look at the importance of justice and the wickedness of dhulm. How Allah does not like dhulm, oppression, the opposite of justice. Allah says in the hadith, the Prophet ﷺ says what? La. The Prophet ﷺ said, Da'watul madhlum la yurad. The dua of someone who's oppressed, he's the victim, is not rejected by Allah. لَيْسَ بَيْنَهُ وَبَيْنَ اللَّهِ حِجَابٍ. There is no cover between that dua and Allah. In the hadith, the Prophet ﷺ says, وَإِن كَانَ فَاجِرًا وَإِن كَانَ كَافِرًا. Even if the man is a fajir, an evil sinner, he's a sinner. If you oppressed him, his dua, there's nothing holding it back from Allah. Even if he's a kafir, he's a disbeliever. If you oppressed him, he raised his hands up, you're in big trouble. Justice, perfect justice. That's what Islam is about. This is very important, ikhwan. Justice. That's what Islam is about. And that's what the deen of Allah is about. We've mentioned this here before, not equality. If you say equality in everything, you'll bring corruption. وَلَيْسَ الذَّكَرُ كَالْأُنثَى. The male is not like the female. The young is not like the old. The sick is not like the healthy. You understand? If you say equality, then you have to give everybody something, you'll bring corruption. Justice, yes. Everybody gets what they deserve. But I'll stress this point, Ikhwan. Even if someone is evil, yes, we have to deal with him the right way. Cannot oppress him. It does not give you that green light of oppressing someone. So the Prophet ﷺ said, Hilful Fudul. If I was called to it again, I would be in that. I would be in that. And that is how we can understand also, because now I have to mention this point. It might be controversial to some of you, but this is the right way of understanding it. How some of the Islamic countries are part of the United Nations. Some people stand up and say, that is kufr, completely kufr. La, it's not kufr. Because most of those countries, it has been proved that they are there and they participate in that, in things which are like this, like we said, which are for benefit, general benefit, common benefit. But things which go against Islam, then you cannot participate in that. So there's nothing wrong with being part of that. Because the world we live in right now, it is almost, we can say it's almost a necessity for a country to be part of that. If you really want to make proper steps forward and to be, as they say, a player in the political scene. Because nobody says if you're there you have to agree to everything. No, you don't have to. But there are things which you will be needed. If there was not any of you there, then there'll be problems, yes. So this is something important. Because this is a common shubha with the people of takfir. Why are these countries going to nations? They're kafir. La, la, la. Calm down. Learn your religion. Take it easy. As we always say, Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah said, Yakhwani, that I make a mistake to call a kafir Muslim is better than for me to make a mistake to call a Muslim kafir. Because the repercussions of that, the consequences of that are great and evil and dire. You understand? Now, so we have to stop here because it's 9:03. Now, next week we'll not be here. We're going for Umrah. Ask Allah to accept, inshallah. So Wednesday, Sahih al-Bukhari, we're pausing, and Friday, the Seerah will be pausing for next week. Next week. The week after, I should be here. Insha'Allah. The week after, which will be when? 26? Insha'Allah. Now, there's a few questions which came here. Khwani will answer those questions. Number one, there's a good brother of ours in Turkey. He asked a question through email, so I'll answer it here. I think his name is Abu Bakr or Abakar. It's amazing, it's uplifting to hear that some of the brothers, they're watching and listening all the way from Turkey. And he asked a question, basically he said he moved from one of the West African countries, and now he's living there. He decided he's living in Turkey. So one of his friends said to him, no, this is not your home country, so you have to shorten the salah. What is the right opinion? That's what the brother was asking. What is correct? And he quoted the words of Shaykh al-Albani. And this is how the Prophet ﷺ taught us through his seerah. We are speaking about the Prophet ﷺ right now. Where is he? Where is he? In Makkah, right? In Makkah. He was born in Makkah. He grew up in Makkah. Then he left and went to Medina. When he came back to Makkah for Umrah, for Hajj, Did he shorten his prayer as a traveler, or did he say, I'm a person of Mecca, I'm praying the full salah? He shortened the prayer because now he's no longer someone who associates himself as an inhabitant, a citizen of Mecca. He moved. Just like some of us now, from wherever you came from, you don't associate yourself anymore with living in Egypt or Somalia or Kenya, wherever you're from. You understand? So here, you live here now. This is your homeland. So here, you don't say you're a traveler. You live here now. So you pray the full salah. If you go there just to visit, you're just visiting. You don't have a place there. You're just a guest. You are traveling there. Wherever you come from, India, wherever it is, you're traveling. You understand? But if you have another home there, or you have a specific room for you there, then you're not a traveler there. You're a traveler on the way. From here until you reach Mumbai, or until you reach Dhaka, until you reach Hargeisa, until you reach Qahira or Hyderabad, wherever you come from. You understand? On the way, you're a traveler. But there, because you have a place there, you're not a traveler. Even if you go there once a year, yes, even if you go there once a year, it's your property. You understand? But if you decided you have moved from a place and you just go to visit, that's it. Then you, this country you moved to, this is your home country now. You don't shorten your salah. You don't shorten your salah. Now, there was one question which came. There was another one, but I can't recall. Yes, Akhi. When it is what? Why do we use the word stories? Which word do you think is better? Event? You could say that. You could say the event is true. Well, events also cannot be real because they depend. Did they actually happen as you say them or not? And Allah actually, I just recall, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used the word story in the Quran. Allah says, نَحْنَ قُصُّ عَلَيْكَ أَحْسَنَ الْقَصَصِ. We narrate to you the best stories. So the story, as long as it's true, it's okay to say it's a story. The difference is it a true story or not? That's the difference. That's the difference, yes. It's a true story or not. نعم. نعم أخي. تفضل. The brother's asking, can we use this hadith of Hilf al-Fudul, the treaty with the Prophet ﷺ he signed, as a proof? He says a lot of people accuse Shaykh al-Islam AbdulAziz bin Baz, the fatwa he gave when Iraq and the Saddam Hussein and the communists, they invaded Kuwait. Can we use this proof to prove that it's okay to seek assistance from the non-Muslims? Can we use this proof? Allahu A'lam. Allahu A'lam. But that issue itself is an issue of ikhtilaf. It's an issue of ikhtilaf, and everybody has to agree to that. From the time of the A'imma, the madhab of the Shafi'i, the Hanbalis, the Malikis, the Hanaf, you know, it's an opinion which is valid. It is an opinion in the fiqh of Islam that it is okay to seek assistance from non-Muslims to fight other non-Muslims. Because you have to remember that time, almost all of the ulama of Islam, they agreed that Saddam Hussein was not a Muslim because he was Ba'athi. He was clear about that. He is a communist. He is not a Muslim. So for them, they were fighting someone who's not Muslim from the first point. So you have to understand it like that. That is number one. Number two, even then, there's a clear opinion also which is valid, that it is okay to seek assistance of the non-Muslim to fight a Muslim who's transgressing. If you yourself don't have the necessary power, it is okay as long as that does not cause more fitna. So all of these are fatwa and opinions from before. The scholars, they differed, and it is one of those issues we should not accuse each other. We should not accuse each other of anything, because even our own scholars, the scholars of Ahl Sunnah, Ahlul Hadith, they differ on that. But we never saw them taking that as a reason or a context of, or a pretense of making takfir on each other. Or going to the extreme of saying, yeah, he's working with the Jews to bring down Islam. La. كيف يعني? These are valid opinions. These are masail ilmiya, issues of knowledge, which are deep in the deep books. Take your time. If you really want to discuss these issues, go learn them, then speak. And then speak. For Allahu A'lam, is this hadith, can you use as a proof? Allahu A'lam. Now, any other questions, Ikhwan? Yes? You read online that it's not allowed to wear Nike because it's a Greek goddess. Wallahi, I would agree with you, but I'm not issuing a fatwa, But I personally don't find it. I'm not comfortable with wearing Nike, personally. I have Nike shoes and I haven't touched them in a long time. They're old. But since I found this out, I'm not comfortable. Even though some of the ulama, they said, if their shoes, in fact, you're putting that goddess on the ground and stepping on it, so. Allahu A'lam. But the fact that you're buying it, you're sponsoring the company. So the issue is not wearing. The issue is not just wearing, buying. That is even greater because you're actually sponsoring that. So Allah, I don't have an answer. Because then we can open a floodgates of issues. Because, not Coca-Cola, khalik min Coca-Cola. No. Mazda, they say Mazda is also a goddess. You know that? Yeah, Persian goddess or whatnot. Mazda. So, we say you cannot drive your Mazda now. So I myself, I don't know Allah. And I cannot say halal or haram. But I'm telling you my personal gut feeling, I don't feel okay wearing that. I don't feel okay. The hadith or the proof which proves that when you go back to a place where you have a home, even if you visit, like I said, once a year, that you are a resident there, is the fact that you have a home. It's yours. Now the Prophet ﷺ, when he went back, they asked him, are you going to your house or not? The house of Khadija. When the Prophet ﷺ, he left for Medina, Aqil, who was not yet a Muslim, Aqil, the son of Abu Talib, he took everything. And that's why he said when he went back, did Aqil leave anything for us? So he didn't have a place. That's why he prayed as musafir. He's a traveler. You understand? He prayed as a traveler. And that is the proof. So if you have a place somewhere, not necessarily a house, like we said, a room, this is your room. When I go back home, I don't have a house, but there's my room. This is my room. You understand? I cannot be a traveler there because I have a place. You understand? I have a place. Yes. Even if you go once, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. No, is that yours? Is that yours? Okay, then it's not yours. But if you bought that room, like people buy the suite in the hotel, You bought that and it's yours, then that's a home. That's a home.